Hey, Patrick Ross, Melbourne, Australia. What time is it over there?
Just before 4:30 p.m.
Great. You have been my guest, I don't know how many times on Dr. Ram's podcast. And when I started Dr. Ram's SMET show, a single minute digit exchange of thoughts, and you were there with Ovi from Canada. And then we did the first time that I met you, we did the Bosch story, and you told us Follow the Sun, the story of Bosch.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we did the SMET show where we talked about the respect for people with you and Ovi.
Mhm.
Before that, on Dr. M's podcast, you also did an episode on transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And well, there is a transformation in my podcast. My podcast became Dr. M's SMET show, and now it has become Dr. M's Lounge. And welcome to Dr. M's Lounge. And this is a prelude to the event that we are going to have. And there again, I'm going to make a transformational change. And instead of having segments and inviting the guests, I'm going to throw it open as a webinar. Is that okay with you, sir?
Perfect, perfect.
So let me do my standard work as you have been teaching me, and Sensei Masaki Imai has been teaching me. And incidentally, Dr. M's launch is dedicated to Sensei Masaki Imai, who passed on and last year. And I continue his, I can't call it legacy because I'm nowhere compared to him. But in his well, he's in my thoughts, so I said I dedicate all the episodes to him, and you would be on the fourth episode, and we will have a webinar probably this month. That is the month of June. I'll throw it open. So here we go. Uh,
Thank
am I
you.
visible on the screen?
Yes, yes, perfect.
So you're the. This is the prelude to the episode 4, and you're going to talk about your personal journey and your learnings that you're sharing with us, and that's something that we cherish. We continuous improvement professional, irrespective of whatever route we take, whoever sensei we have our own personal experience from where we can learn from each other. As a matter of fact, the third episode we were talking with uh, Balaji Reddy, who is the founder of Deming Forum of India, and he was talking to us about competing with. What he meant is there it is not semantic. What he said is we look at various people and the personal journeys of them, or sort of benchmark them and get the best of what you can get from them, and then you improve on them and do a hensai and do a kaizen on that. And that was the basic thing that he was talking about. So I think this will sync with your journey. We will learn from your journey. Hopefully, we don't disappoint you as we do go ahead in our personal journey. And thanks for being there for me in person and for the continuous improvement professional across the globe. And that's been a mission ever since I started this podcast, is connecting continuous improvement professionals across the world. A little bit of whatever I could do or I can do. So, standard work, let me introduce you. Uh, you held a leadership position in Robert Bosch, Australia, as regional president and vice president, and your career spanned over 25 years, including assignment in Europe, UK, and Germany, as well as responsibility in China and Malaysia. Then you went across and was appointed as a senior industry fellow. Your love with academia and your love for spreading knowledge is
Mhm.
demonstrated here and now by sharing your personal story. Very few of them do that. Uh, so thank you very much for that and your contribution to the academic community. And as Deming would say, what practice are you doing? Was the theory behind it. So Deming never gave us a method, but he always said, why did Deming say that? So when you say why, then the theory comes in. And thank you very much for sharing your experience with this postgraduate research uh, professionals who would learn from you, as we are going to learn from this session too. And currently, you are the facilities managers in Catholic. I would know how to pronounce this word. How do you pronounce this word?
Catholic Diocese of Sale.
Catholic Diocese of Sale at Warrnambool, Wargu,
Warrigal. Yeah.
Warrigal,
Pronounced Warrigal. Spelt Warrigal, but it's pronounced Warrigal in Victoria. Yeah.
Victoria, Australia, and you have been doing that for 20 from
Coming up to
2020.
2 years. 2 years now.
Yeah, that was just the end of a horrible pandemic phase, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So over to you, sir. And here we go, the prelude to the webinar, which will be coming up. And I'm going to stop sharing and handing over to you. Here we go, sir. All yours.
Thank you, Dr. Ren. Look, my purpose in sharing this particular topic is some time ago, and I've done it and a lot of you have experienced it in the past. There are seminars that are out there from consultants, from institutes, and they talk about the topic of lean leadership. But what they talk about is what the expectation of the lean leaders should be. But then they go into describing it in terms of activities and rituals. You know, this is what a Gemba walk should be. This is what the visual management chart should be. This is what you should review. This is how the leader should interact in a Kaizen, etc., etc., etc. And all of these are not bad things. They're all very good things and they're very important things. But invariably, the question comes from leaders, well, okay, how often should I do Gemba walks? How long should my Gemba walk be? You know, how often should I walk around and look at my visual management? How many 5S audits should I do? How long should I participate in a Kaizen? How many Kaizen should I participate in a year? Now, we could answer these questions, and most of the time, the answer that consultants would give and people would give is it depends. But what I'm trying to come across is my own personal journey, because I faced exactly the same questions. And I was always looking for a prescriptive answer, something that would tell me, what do I need to do? There came a turning point, and there came many turning points, but at one point, I came to this definition, this personal definition of lean. And for me, that personal definition is lean is about making the most judicious and timely decision at the closest point to where value is added or created. Because once you have these decisions made, then the waste is automatically eliminated, because the waste is an outcome of delayed decisions. Now, when we look at that definition, and this is what I'll be challenging a little bit in my detailed presentation, is what you find is that our traditional view of leadership is that the best decisions are made in a boardroom by a bunch of managers looking at data and charts and trying to look for a very, very summarized and distilled view of what caused the data. And what is wrong with this picture? Well, perhaps the decision itself is very good, but is it judicious in the sense that can it change the past? No. Is it timely? Absolutely not. And therefore, and how close is it to where value is added or created? The answer is as long away as you can make it, because further up in a boardroom, it couldn't be any further. Now, the problem we've got with that is that our leadership mindset has been for a long time to keep on the lessons we kept learning was always about how to do it better in the boardroom. So the net outcome is we want more data, we want more quality data, and we want more cleaner summaries of what happened. And now if we contrast that with a view of lean, which is going to Gemba and seeing it as it happens and where it happens, it's a completely different paradigm. And this is why, and this is what I want to tease about in my journey, is that, you know, whenever we try to get leaders that live in this older, this traditional paradigm of leadership and get them to be involved in lean, what they're trying to do is they're actually taking the traditional paradigm and trying to make it fit into lean. And as a result of that, what we have is an organization that is often not any more leaner than what it was before, not any more continuous in its improvement than what it was before, but it all looks and feels the same. And so this is what I will share in my journey. There is not anything that I have that I believe are perfect answers and perfect solutions. Far from it. It's more about here's what I realized the hard way. Here's what I tried to practice, and it wasn't always easy. And perhaps this is an opportunity for others to have the same thought pattern. And as a little bit of a provocative view to Dr. Raman, a little bit about what I felt is, you see, instead of me presenting 25 slides with here is what I know, which would be exactly contrary, the exact opposite of what I'm trying to say, is I would rather say, here's a story shared in 25, 30 minutes, and here is what how others relate to that story, because it's based on the practicalities of a plant, a manufacturing area, etc. And it is also in itself far from perfect. It is simply where it's at. And so it's about trying to bring people in to the conversation. I don't think we would solve everything for everybody in that single webinar, but rather what I think it would be is people could leave a webinar with a lot more questions to ask of themselves, because that's what I found the key to, you know, when we talk about Kaizen in leadership, it's about continuously asking questions, including the most famous one, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope this gives a little bit of a synopsis of this, what I'm going to, you know, what the next session will be, the more definitive session. And I look forward to having as many people as possible. As I said, I'll try to keep the whole thing to 25, 30 minutes maximum, and then to have enough time for people to ask questions and make comments interactively.
Well, Patrick, provoking Dr. M, surely you did. So here we go. Game on. And we play cricket, right? Australia plays cricket, India plays cricket. So game on.
Yes, yes.
And then I like what you said, because it just fits in. And then you have the hensai on my that side, and I got Kaizen here. And that's what it fits into the narration that you have. And I would make this change as I declared it. It'll be no more in whiteys. I'm going to throw it open as a webinar. So looking forward to a very, very interesting webinar coming up soon, hopefully this month. And we have to only synchronize it with the time zones. You're there in the east, and we are communicating across where, as you said, the famous quote of yours that you said, follow the sun. I love that. Said that in the Bosch story when you talked about the on-time, in full delivery. You said we had the advantage because we followed the sun. So let's carry this advantage forward and follow the sun so that the maximum number of people across Europe, Africa, and America, and we India comes somewhere in between the east and the west.
Yeah, that's
So we
right.
have the best of this thing. So we learn from the east and we learn from the west, and we have the best. Thank you very much, and I'm going to publish it, and we'll decide the date on which the webinar will be there. So that the time zones, we cut across the time zones. So see you soon, Patrick, and you have always been there, and always been there. Thank you very much as a personal and a professional friend, somebody that I can just pick up my phone and talk to, and that's a reputation that you have globally. When I say Patrick Ross, he said, "Oh my God, we can talk to him anytime," and his comments on LinkedIn is so amazing. It's so thought-provoking. That's the image that you have, and that's the image that I cherish of you as a friend. Thank you very much, and we see you at the webinar.
Definitely. Thank you, Dr. M. All the
See you
best.
there.